Okay, welcome everybody to the MoneyShift channel. This is the Maverick Files, and I am your host, Thanasi, and today we are going to be going over 5 things that I want Ford to add when they facelift the Maverick in 23 or 24. Now, we've put about 3,000 miles on our Ford Maverick, and so far, I love it. This is one of my recent favorite new car purchases I have ever made, but it is not without its faults. Now, the reason why I'm suggesting these for a facelift is because I think all of these things can reasonably be altered with a facelifted version of the Maverick. Now, usually facelifts, they alter the appearance of the vehicle slightly, but they also reduce some of the nitpicks that a lot of folks have and overall increase the quality of life of ownership when it comes to the vehicle. So these are 5 things that I would suggest Ford change when they facelift the Ford Maverick. Let's go.
All right, the first thing should come as no surprise, but I think with the facelift, Ford should upgrade this infotainment system by filling it out entirely and giving it Sync 4. Now, the Sync 3 system works fine, but it is a bit slow to inputs and it can freeze. Ford bringing in the Sync 4 system like we saw in the Bronco review that we just did and filling out this entire display would be a natural fit for 2023 and 2024 facelift on the Maverick. It would bring in more speed, it would bring in more features, and the increased size would just allow things like CarPlay and Android Auto to look that much better. It is an easy solution. It is one that they have in their wheelhouse and one that they should consider. Number 2 of things that I want Ford to consider when updating the 2023 Ford Maverick is this audio system. Shown here is the XLT. So we have 2 speakers on the dash, 2 in the front door cards, and then we also have another 2 on the rear next to where the seat belt is. Now, this system does very, very well with things like spoken word and podcasts, but it falls on its face the moment you try to play any sort of music. As I'm playing right here, even though this audio quality isn't the best, you can still hear that it just isn't hitting like it should on the notes that it should. This is an upgrade that Ford should definitely consider across their entire model range, because even in comparison to something like a Civic or Corolla, this does not hit the mark when it comes to audio. Now, moving on to one of the next things that I hope Ford considers when they update the Maverick is this transmission. Now, I'm not talking about the transmission unit specifically. I'm just talking about the fact that we don't have any paddle shifters. Now, if you look at this photo I'm attaching here of the Bronco Sport, you'll see that this vehicle already has the capability to put in paddle shifters. One of the biggest knocks that I have of the Bronco is this transmission overall. I said Bronco, I meant Maverick. And it is just very slow to react. If I had the ability to sort of kick down the gears with a paddle shifter before making a sort of sporty maneuver, that would be huge. Also, please include sport mode. Even if I get the FX4, that also seems like a big misstep. But the biggest thing with this section overall is the fact that Ford should certainly include a form of paddle shifter with the Maverick. There's no doubt that that is a good decision. Now, one of the last things that we're going to touch on, the second to last thing, is the bed. Now, the bed system overall is really, really great, but one of the things that we're missing and one of the staples of a unibody pickup truck is the trunk that you can get in the bed. The Santa Cruz has it, the Ridgeline has it, and there's no excuse as to why the Maverick shouldn't have it. The unibody pickup truck comes with a lot of compromises, but one of the benefits is the ability of having something like a pickup bed that also has a trunk. It is so useful, whether it's tailgating, whether it's safe storage of whatever goods you have. It is just something that is huge and something that I would love to see in a facelifted version of the Maverick. But the last thing that we're going to touch on might be one of the most obvious. Please ignore the dirty carpet. It's winter here in New England. Regardless of what I do, they're going to stay dirty. And that's interior trim and color choices. One of the things Ford does with the Maverick, and I understand that this helps keeps costs down, is that they isolate each trim to one specific interior. You get the XLT? Well, hey, thanks, congrats. You also get this orange accent. You also get this denim blue. You also get this sort of granite marbly looking plastic. You want the XL? Well, you get flat black. You want the Lariat? Well, you get brown, and there's no ability to customize or change that depending on which model. And that seems like something that should be a natural introduction in 2023 as Ford understands the fact that the Maverick is a massive sales hit. But let's go back in the car and do a high-level summary.
All right, everybody, that is the list of 5 things that I would add when Ford facelifts the Maverick in 2023-2024. And again, just to summarize, number 1, I would switch this screen to a wider screen with Sync 4. Number 2, I would increase the audio system's just flat out abilities. I know this is a mid-grade trim, but it still pales in comparison to other vehicles in this price range. Number 3, I would allow the ability to manually select the gears. That is something that the Bronco Sport has, which this vehicle is based, but we don't have that, and it doesn't make any sense. Number 4, I would add a trunk into that bed. That would be an amazing feature. People underrate the usability of something like that, especially if you're making the choice to get a unibody pickup. Why not have all the features that come with it? And then last but not least, color options in the interior. I know plenty of folks that went XL instead of XLT because of this interior. I also know folks that went XLT instead of Lariat because of that interior. It seems like something small that Ford could make that would have a big difference in terms of people's perception about which type of model to buy. Now, if I had an unlimited budget and Ford was willing to do whatever I wanted, yes, I would want a 2.3 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder under the hood with a 10-speed automatic transmission. Yes, I'd want the ability to get that 2.7 liter twin turbo V6 under the hood with that 10-speed automatic transmission. Yes, I would want Ford to introduce the Bronco Sports all-wheel drive system that has a twin clutch in the back to simulate lockers. Yes, I would love all of those things, but when making this video, I tried to be realistic about the things that Ford could actually potentially change when they were looking at facelifting the Ford Maverick. If you guys enjoyed this video, do not forget to hit that like button, and thank you to everybody who has been showing crazy support to the Money Shift channel. I am your host, Thanasi, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.